Hello, my name's Rachel. I'm going to be reading during a lot of this video, so bear with me. But let's see. Again, my name is Rachel, and I'm I'm making this video to raise awareness about child abuse, domestic abuse, and the flaws in the system that are supposed to protect families, but often make things worse. Okay, and let's see. So in my last video, I talked about my experience during my most recent family court hearing, and I talked about what I asked for and why I believed my children should be with me. And today I want to talk about my part and what I think contributed to the judge's decision, and how some of my own challenges may have contributed to this, and how the judge might have just misunderstood some of the issues at hand, but I do take responsibility. Okay, so why did the judge ignore reports of medical neglect, general neglect, and physical abuse? And the short answer is because I have cats. So my daughter has asthma and a cat allergy, among many other allergy triggers. And from the court's perspective, I'm the crazy cat lady who put her pets first before her daughter's health. But that is not the truth. So, just a little background. When my daughter lived with me from birth until about age 9, we always had pets. We had cats, we had dogs, sometimes we had both. And then since she was, so she loved animals, and she never had a reaction to them before. And by the way, again, she lived with me from birth to 9 years old. I didn't see any signs of asthma either. Okay, so when her father took the children, I had 3 cats. They were mostly outdoors. Actually, one of them was pretty much feral, and the other one was just really timid and would not really come around. He would come around when my kids were at school, or he was really shy. And then I had a dog, but my children never reacted. My daughter, my son, never had any kind of reaction. So anyway, I never had any reason to think that this was an issue. But later, while helping a neighbor with a female cat, I took her in, and she wasn't spayed, and she ended up having 4 litters. And I worked hard to try to rehome the cats that I could, and I was able to get the rest of them fixed. But during that period, that's when my daughter started developing allergies and asthma. Mostly while living with her father. At that point, she was barely coming over. And, that was his argument in court. So, this is where things stand now as far as my cats. Today, I have 6 cats left out of all of them, and they all stay outside. It's raining very hard right now, and they're all outside. I have an enclosure for them, so, but that's where it's at. And despite the fact that I don't know when my children will come to my house, I'm still not letting them inside. I do want to rehome them, but there is a major problem with cat overpopulation, and the shelters around my area are full, and the rescues that I've reached out to, and that's dozens and dozens of rescues that I've reached out to, they're not accepting any owner surrenders. Furthermore, I'm legally blind, and because of that, arranging out of area rehoming or rescuing or shelter, surrendering to a shelter is very difficult. But I'm doing everything I can. And that includes continuing to reach out to rescues, telling them that I will even, foster while they look for a home. Just putting ads on Craigslist, just putting general posts on Facebook to let people know that I'm still trying to rehome my cats. So my ex refuses to let my daughter take allergy medications. And yet this wasn't questioned by the judge. So while I do take my responsibility for my part, for the pets, and for how it might look to people, and I'm sure even some people watching this video probably think, oh, she's a crazy cat lady. I take responsibility for that. But I also want people to see that this situation isn't simple. And let me tell you something. My grandpa always had, he had a saying that I think applies here. For every problem, there is a solution that is both simple and wrong. And, life, it's complicated. And especially issues with family court, they're complicated. So you don't always have a simple solution. And so for that reason, I hope that people listen to this with empathy and understanding, and understand that I am doing everything I possibly can to resolve my part in the situation. Meanwhile, my children are with a man who, like I said, will not allow them to take medication for allergies. He has not followed through on any immunotherapy that's been offered to my daughter. He, doesn't mind exposing her to her allergy triggers. He just sent me a video about, I don't know, a week ago of a cat on her bed. It's a tenant's cat that got into their house and just sleeping on my daughter's bed, and he thought it was pretty funny and cute. And I'm thinking, why can't I have my daughter here? Why is he responsible for, why is he seen as the responsible parent if this is what he thinks is cute? So, and if you see other families going through struggles in family court, maybe somebody doesn't have their children, there's always two sides to every story. So please listen with empathy. Reserve your judgment until you hear the details, or until you hear both sides of the story. And until next time, take care.